Hello and welcome to the Bearded Math Man's YouTube channel. Hey, in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to solve this right triangle right here. We're going to use good old fancy trigonometry and some Pythagorean theorem and some basic math and a little bit of algebra. Let's get to it, shall we? So let's say you're taking a quiz or doing a homework assignment and you're given this triangle right here and it says solve the triangle. Well, solve the triangle means you have to figure out the missing sides and the missing angle. Let's start off with what's easiest. The missing angle's easiest right here, because that angle plus 15 has to equal 90 because the entire triangle adds up to 180. This one's already 90. So two angles that add up to 90, they're called complementary. So 90 minus 15, 75. Boom, we're done. Now, how you go from here, how you proceed, it's really up to you. You could find the opposite side of this 15. You could find this side first, or you could find the hypotenuse first. I chose to go ahead and find this side first. Now, there's two ways we could go about finding this side. We could use 15, or we could use 75. Since I discovered what 75 is, I might have made a mistake, in which case the rest of the triangle is going to be wrong. So I'm going to start off by using what I know with 15, and I'm going to check very quickly to make sure that 75 gives me the same answer, right? All right, so now, 15 degrees. I need the adjacent side. I know the opposite side. So opposite and adjacent, that's tangent, right? So the tangent of 15 degrees is opposite over adjacent. Now, there are some things that you're going to learn in the future called reciprocal functions, but right now, this is for people who don't know about those yet. Reciprocal functions is really easy. It would make this even simpler, but we're going to get to that in a future video. All right, now, so let's say we set this up. Tangent of 15 degrees is opposite over adjacent. We have to solve for adjacent. We know the opposite is 3.84. So, since the unknown's in the denominator, we have to multiply both sides by that unknown. On the right, they reduce. And we're left with adjacent times the tangent of 15 degrees equals 3.84. So all you got to do is divide. Tangent of 15 degrees is what you're going to plug into your calculator. So it's going to be 3.84 divided by tangent of 15 degrees. 14.3 is what we're finding out that this adjacent side to 15 degrees is. So we think this is 14.3. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing with the side with the angle we found. And this is going to be a lot easier because if you can use an equation where the unknown is the numerator, it's a lot easier. And here, the numerator, the opposite side, is the unknown because the tangent of 75 degrees is this side is now opposite. Adjacent isn't fixed. Adjacent is relative to an angle. So 15 degrees is adjacent. This side is adjacent to 15 degrees, but this side is opposite of 75. So 75 is going to be opposite over 3.84. All you got to do is multiply both sides by 3.84. Plug that into your calculator. 14.3 is this unknown side. So it works either way. So it's a good idea to start off with what you've been given, if you can, to figure out everything you can figure out. And then just use the thing you found out to solve the rest. All right, so last part. We're going to find the hypotenuse. Could do it in a few ways. We could use sine, cosine of either of these two angles, but we could also use something simpler. So now let's find the hypotenuse. We could use sine or cosine of either of these angles, but let's use the one we know. So let's say, because neither of these will be easier than the other. So let's use the sine of 15 degrees. That's opposite over hypotenuse. Do you see? Sine of 15 degrees is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So I know the opposite is 3.84. The hypotenuse is what I don't know. So in order to go from here, this equation, sine of 15 degrees is opposite over hypotenuse, to the hypotenuse equals 3.84 divided by the sine of 15, you do all this work we just did right here. So you multiply both sides by the hypotenuse, divide by the sine of 15, boom, done. Plug that in your calculator, you get 14.8. Ah, fantastic. Now, let's go ahead and check to see if this is right. We're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Now, these are all rounded numbers, so we're actually going to see if this works to three significant figures. So 3.84 squared plus 14.3 squared. If that equals 14.8 squared, we are golden. Turns out 219 is 3.84 squared plus 14.3 squared. 219 is also 14.8 squared. So we are good to go. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, go ahead and like it. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. I will also leave in the description a link to my website, thebeardedmathman.com. There is all kinds of fantastic, in my opinion, math help, trigonometry stuff, all kinds of other topics. Hope you guys are doing well. Be safe.